Hey everyone, ahlan wa sahlan fikum, and welcome back for the fifth dialogue that we're going to take a look at. Again, quick intro. I'm going through the dialogues on PalWeb. These are updated versions of the annotated transcripts that I made a long time ago, so I've delisted those videos and instead I'm doing them over again, but at a much higher level, given all the sort of options that PalWeb has, where there's like a dictionary and all this stuff, and you can look at the sentences individually and so on. And I decided that in order to make these videos not super just very long and extensive and tedious, I'm going to assume that first of all that you're watching these videos in order. You don't have to watch them in order. If you just want to look at one of these videos in particular, that's fine. But there are some things that I'm gonna kind of breeze over because I've covered them in the previous videos, and so here I will sort of, sure, I'll make reference to what we've already discussed, but in general I will assume that you've just heard me say it before. And also, I'm not going to dwell too much on vocab in particular because I know that if you just open the sentences, you can look at all the component terms and go to their pages in the dictionary. So I'm going to assume that you can do that on your own. So instead, I'm going to focus mainly on things that kind of stand out to me, that I think are grammatical stuff mainly, and just vocab that maybe I think is quite, like, I would say, make sure to learn this word or something like that. But yeah, without further ado, the topic of this video is that Sanad. Also, by the way, get to know these characters because, like, at this point, I mean, all the videos are transcripts of this video series. And I think as I make more, I will probably also just keep using these videos because they are pretty accessible, like straightforward, short storylines. I think honestly they're quite suited for this kind of sort of study. So yeah, so this is Sanad. This is Sanad. That's her mom, his mom. And yeah. Anyway, he was like falling back in terms of his grades in school and stuff like that. So the video is about that. So Sanad says, oh, he's studying on his bed. And yeah, quick thing. Obviously, you probably should watch the video before doing this, so you know more or less what's going on. Because also I can't divide them between scenes, so it's just a list of every line sort of flowing together. So I will kind of mention a little bit what's going on, but otherwise, yeah, keep that in mind. Mic test, just in case. All right. Okay, so yeah, so Sana says, Baba shub ta'mal na'azni. He's lying in bed and his dad passed by. And na'az, we saw in an earlier dialogue, that one lady said to the other, like, Shumalik na'azt, or na'azti, which is the sort of like the version, like the no patient version of the verb, i.e. like you gasped on your own. And then na'az is the causative form, which is to make someone gasp, to make someone be startled. So na'az is what we saw before, shumalik na'azti, to gasp, to flinch, and na'az is to startle someone. So again, on PalWeb you can kind of switch between the refer to the different forms based on causative forms and transitive, intransitive pairs and stuff like that. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. So then yeah. So his father says, "Habib ashuf shu اللي بفرحك." I want to see what is making you so happy. ولا إشي الرياضيات math كتير حبوا هذا الدرس. Yeah, no, nothing. Math. I'm really loving this lesson. And his father says, أنت بتدرس رياضيات وأنت نايم؟ كيف يعني؟ نايم, not just sleep. It's an active participle, right? And it doesn't just mean sleeping, but also lying down. At least in Palestinian Arabic. Actually, I was talking to someone who was telling me that they were not aware of, or at least in Central Palestinian Arabic, because I was talking to someone from like the Galilee, and he was saying that he doesn't use nayim in this way, or doesn't use nam in this way. So that was kind of interesting. I thought it was more general. So yeah, you study math while lying down. How? And Sanad says ما عمرك جربت بتخيل الأرقام قدامي هيك بتطير. So this part, of course, I imagine the numbers in front of me like flying. But this is interesting, and I wanted to stop here for a second and look at Omer, which is an important word. In fact, I was thinking about splitting it off from the noun and like, but it's not really a pseudoverb. I guess it is just the noun, but it's interesting. It's used in some particular ways. So, Omro with a suffix, it means, as it says here, has ever or has never. So, for example, and in fact, the funny thing is that you can treat it. It's almost like a verb in that you can negate it, right? So, in fact, he says, right, ما عمرك جربت. So this means literally. So عمرك جربت means, right? Have you ever tried? ما عمرك جربت. Have you never tried? Right? So that's kind of interesting. This is another sentence. هذه هذه بتعجب اللي ما عمره عجبه إشي. This pleases the one who was never pleased by anything. I don't know. It's kind of a funny, weird sentence, but something a little more straightforward. عمرك ما تلتهي. Don't ever. See, ما تلتهي means don't. So ما تلتهي, don't get distracted عن الطريق. So don't get distracted from the road. But with عمرك, it's don't ever get distracted from the road. So it's kind of like just ever, and then it could be has ever or has never. But I wish I had more examples, but this is all I have for now. And then you can even say طول عمره, and this is essentially like, yeah, has always been. So again, like Umr means age, or like you're in your lifetime. So really just like this meaning comes from that. So it's like in your whole life you've never tried, right? And then tul is the length of something, the entire length of something. So it's like in his whole life he has always been this or that. So tul umrak fannane, you've always been talented. Yeah, and it's kind of like daiman, but this is, if you're talking about daiman, is something you always, daiman means always. You've always been is we say tul umrak. Tul umri, I don't know, whatever. Talib, I've always been a student, for example. So it's kind of interesting. I'd pin this word. It's very useful, and you'll actually hear it a lot. Well, yeah, it'll come up, and it's obviously doesn't mean it goes beyond its literal meaning. So keep that in mind. Yeah. So you've never tried, blah blah blah, and then the father says طب قوم اقعد على المكتب وامسك ورقة وقلم. So all right, get up, sit, and sit at the desk, and take a pen and a paper and a pen, a piece of paper and a pen. Nothing really to say about that. Okay, معلش. Oh, this is now in a different scene. The mother is talking to the baby. She's saying معلش ماما حبيبي. بس المرة الجاية أول ما بدك تروح على الحمام بتقول لي بسرعة. Okay? Maybe I should. It doesn't matter. So, but next time, as soon as. So this, really quick, we've talked about how Matt connects prepositions to verbs, but I've also said that there's a caveat that there are some other words that are actually not like prepositions that also work in this kind of way. And awal is a word that is used in this way as well. So awal means the first thing. So awal ma is the first thing upon something. Um, so anyway, so yeah, so أول ما تقعد, as soon as you sit down, and then something something. بس المرة الجاي أول ما بدك, as soon as you need to do this and that. لبنى من أول ما جيت, from the moment I arrived. So it's not only as soon as, but like from, in this case, from the moment I arrived, right? I mean, there's other ways to express this in synonymous ways, like min وقت ما جيت, from the time that I arrived. But this awal is more emphatic about like from the exact moment that I arrived, right? But I might okay, it doesn't matter. This is good enough. So أول ما بدك تروح على الحمام بتقولي بسرعة. Okay, yeah. I think that rest is self-explanatory. And then بعدين ما منلحق. And this بعدين has the meaning of like otherwise. Let's see. It's adverb. We actually mentioned how this word has several meanings. The like official, or like the true meaning is then, later, afterwards, like بعد, after, بعدين, afterwards, later. But then it has some additional meanings that are more idiomatic, like not to mention, besides, and so on. And then also otherwise, like بعدين ما منلحق, like if we don't let her know in time that we need to go to the bathroom, like because she's talking to the baby. So yeah, and then different scene. Now she's on her own, the mother, and she's saying هذه هاي ما دخلتها. This هذه is standard Arabic. She's just muttering to herself. So yeah, she's just muttering to herself. I haven't put this one into the spreadsheet. And then she gets a call and she says, "Allo, ahlan, Miss Kauthar. Khair, fi ishi." We talked about this khair. It means like, is everything okay? It's just an expression. So yeah, hi Miss Kauthar, is everything okay? Is there something wrong? And then they're talking on the phone and she says, طبعا بكرة على 11, at 11 بالضبط بنكون عندكم. Tomorrow at 11 exactly will be at your place. Remember, this عند has many different meanings, and one of them is at someone's place. So عندي, at my home, essentially, and بنكون عندكم, we will be at your place, or where you are, right? Not necessarily your house in this case. It's just like at their office, because the mascota is the principal of the school. So then Ibn Sanad says, شو القصة? Sanad. And then the kids are all together, and she's, I guess, so the girl is saying fi nunu, like there's a nunu, that the baby pooped itself, I guess. ودي بسرعة, like take him quickly. And then Sana says, لا ودي أنتي, mama. Pretty straightforward. The mom says to the son then, احكي لي لشو مس كوثر بدها إيانا بكرة. By the way, this I created an additional meaning for it because I wrote out a different meaning in the dictionary, because it does mean yes, but it also is like huh, or even oh. It's kind of just thrown around like that. So and we talked about this before as well, and just a refresher, we can't have one pronoun suffix after the other. So when we have an indirect object followed by a direct object, we need to put the direct object on this ya particle, which is just a placeholder for the suffix. So for example, ibatli, send to me. Iya, ibatli ya, send it to me. Now the order of the objects is different in English, it's the opposite. But in Arabic, ibatli, ya. In this case, the ya ends in a ha, which means it. So that's the most common use case, but it also comes up with biddo, because this is always conjugated with a suffix. So necessarily, whenever you say you want something or you need something, if it's a pronoun, it's always going to be on this إياه. So لشو Miss Kawthar بدها إيانا. Why does she want us? Or what does she want us for tomorrow? Sanad says, Miss Kawthar, مش عارف, I don't know. And then he's like in bed at night and he's saying, Ya Allah, شو راح يصير بكرة? What's going to happen tomorrow? شو راح يعملوا بس يعرفوا? What are they gonna know? What are they gonna do as soon as they find out? And that's, by the way, that's a synonym of well, kind of. It's kind of a synonym of the awal, right? So awal, it means first, but it can be used as with ma, as awal ma, and it means as soon as. And then a synonym is bas, and this can be without. This is without the ma. This is just as is without the ma. So ana bas. Yeah, I mean, أنا بس أشرب القهوة وبنام. As soon as I drink the coffee, I sleep. I go to sleep. Yeah. And then شو راح يعملوا بس يعرفوا? What are they gonna do as soon as they find it? This one is just a little bit more clear than this one about that. But yeah, well, okay. Anyway, don't worry about this. I might change something. Yeah, so as soon as. It's better, the more examples, it just is always better, but I still, as you can see, need to add more sentences. But you know what, actually I'm quite happy that, even by mostly just, well, I've not just added words from the transcripts, I've also added, sentences. I've also added some other sentences, but even with that, most words that I'm opening up have example sentences, so that's really good, actually. So most things, well, I don't know if actually most words have an example, but at least the most common ones. So where were we? شو راح يعملوا بس يعرفوا? What are they going to do when they find out or as soon as they find out? Now they're at the teacher's office and the teacher says, أهلا وسهلا بأولياء أمور سند. Now, wali amir, which is that, okay, so wali means guardian, and amir means affair or matter, and this is actually an idiom. Wali amir means guardian, like legal guardian, but legal guardian, illegal guardian includes parents. So yeah, so he's saying, she is saying, welcome to Sanad's guardians, but obviously that's fine. I mean, it includes parents. So obviously being a little bit formal, but yeah. Well, I mean, this is the official way, right, to say this. So yeah, wali amr, and this is but in the plurals, of course. Awliya umur sanad. Okay, cool. And then the father says, Ahlan fiki, miss. Inshallah khair. Hopefully everything is okay. Teacher says, khair, everything is okay. بس بصراحة حبيت أحطكم بالصورة قبل ما ناخد أي قرار. So, but honestly, I wanted to put you in the picture, involve you, or let you know what's going on. قبل ما ناخد, again, preposition, ما, verb, قبل ما ناخد أي قرار. And this is the same as I. This is just I, but another variant of it. So any decision, right? And then the mom says, sorry, بس قرار بشو? Sorry, but, sorry is sorry, but decision about what? Teacher says, بصراحة سند من بداية السنة بتراجع كبير. Honestly, Sanad, since the start of the year, is in and yeah, in English, don't get hung up on, never worry too much about how things translate into English exactly. In English, we would say, since something, someone has been. It's just grammatically how it's expressed in English, but in Arabic, Sanad, since the beginning of the year, is in a big regression, or has been, in English, we would say. The Arabic is simpler, actually. Um, yeah, because it's the has been is understood because it's since the beginning of the year. So you don't need to express any kind of, you don't need to change anything. Um, so yeah. Then she says علاماته واطية وتركيزه صفر بالحصة. His grades are low and his concentration is 0 in the class. And then she says قلنا نستنى لتاني شهر بس للأسف ما نجح ولا بمادة. Couple things here. First of all, the numbers. Gosh, okay, so the ordinal numbers, like first, second, third, fourth, and so on, until 10th, and also the word last, these are functionally, like syntactically the same, or they work the same as elative adjectives, i.e. comparative adjectives. So, and how do those work? Well, yeah, I don't want to get too complicated about this, because I have a video about it, actually, my video about counting. But just to be brief about it, let's take a comparative, like, so حلو, nice, أحلى, nicer. So these can, like, okay, so okay, how should I even start with this? So you can, if you're talking about something definite, right, like the nicest house, the loveliest house, you can actually structure this in two ways. You can say البيت الأحلى, or you can say أحلى بيت. So I think I'm wondering whether this is very useful without giving you, like, without showing it to you, is kind of why I'm like thinking that this is not, that I haven't like prepared like some examples, but the point is that when you use these comparatives, these elative forms, like where you're talking about the nicest thing, the biggest thing, the whatever, most thing, the superlatives, if you can begin the clause with that, you can begin with that, and then everything that comes after is automatically understood as being definite. So this is why I gave the example of like البيت الأحلى and أحلى بيت. Both of these are definite. It wouldn't be أحلى البيت. This would be wrong, because starting with أحلى and having something indefinite after, it's understood that the whole thing is something definite. So it will be said, look, so here, so the numerals, the ordinals, which are like first, second, third, fourth, they work the same way. So here we see tani shahar. Tani is second, but it doesn't mean a second month or something like that. It means the second month. This is definite. See, until the second month. So this is definite, and it's actually the same as something that says before. Look, or I mean after. Someone says, الشهر الثاني. الشهر الثاني. This is exactly equivalent to tani shahar. Tani shahar and الشهر الثاني is exactly the same. They are both definite. It's just that when you start with the comparative as so, the whatever follows is like sort of subordinated to this, and the whole thing is definite, because this is definite. Like ahla ishi is the nicest. It's always the nicest thing. It's the because it's a superlative. Well, superlatives are the most thing, and there can only be one biggest house in principle, right? In a given context. And the numerals are kind of the same way, because there is only one second month. There's only one of each of these things. So yeah, sorry if that was a bit out of nowhere and maybe not explained that well, just because I just am using the examples that I have before me, but that's the point. I just wanted to clarify that this means the second month, and it's because this is an ordinal number. Please check out my video about counting because that explains it in a much more detailed way. Okay, and then the next thing, بس للأسف, unfortunately, ما نجح ولا بمادة. So here I just wanted to say that this might look kind of weird, but this is something that you should be aware. It doesn't really come up that much, but so walad is a determiner that comes before the noun. So for example, wala madde means no subject, or wala hada, no person, nobody. Wala ishi, nothing, no thing. So that's what this does. And usually it's immediately followed by the noun. But it is actually possible if there is a preposition like targeting that noun for that preposition to come after the determiner, which is kind of weird actually. But it is allowed in Arabic. So this could be ما نجح بولا مادة or ما نجح ولا بمادة. Actually, both are fine. I think this is actually better, but both are fine. ما راح على ولا محل or ما راح ولا على محل. Both are actually fine. So that's just an FYI. So yeah, we said that we'd wait until the second month, but unfortunately he did not succeed, literally, i.e. he did not pass. He didn't pass in any subject. Excuse me. Then the mother says, أنا مصدومة من كلامك. بصراحة miss. I'm shocked by your words, honestly, miss. سند شو عم بصير معك? What's going on with you? The father says, بصراحة يا miss أنا بقدر كلامك. Honestly, miss, teacher, I appreciate your words. كمان أنا بعرف إنه هذا مش مستوى سند وهو قادر يشد حاله. So so I also know that this is not Sanad's standard, Sanad's standard, and he's able, قادر, active participle, present meaning in this case, he is able to shad حاله. So يشد حاله. What is this? This is an idiom that I wanted to point out, and it means to make an effort or to do your best at something. So I would say it's relatively important. I mean, shad, this is a word that is sort of used in a lot of different ways. I mean, mainly these, but there is an idiom that comes out of it, like shad helo. So it's like to do your best. So I know that he can make an effort. And then the father says, معلش خلينا نستنى للشهر الثاني, as I said, right? Let's wait until the second month, ونشوف and see. And then the mother says, back at home, now they go home, and the mother says to the husband, من وين جايب أنت هالروقان? And جايب, this is an active participle as well, but in this case it has a perfect meaning, as it usually does. In fact, there are some like exceptions, but in general, the meaning is present perfect, i.e. someone has done something. So where have you gotten this calmness? Why are you so chill about this? So where have you gotten this calmness from? And then she says, يعني قاعد بغرفته كل الوقت بلعب وبسرح وبتخوت علينا. So he's sitting in his room the whole time, playing and daydreaming and making fun of us. And then she says, شو بدك نستنى عبين ما ينطرد من المدرسة يعني? I think we saw the sentence before. عبين means until, or while something is happening, or until something happens. During the time until something happens. And then ma, of course, because this is a preposition, ma links that preposition to the verb, and the verb is intarad, which is the passive form, medial passive form of tarad. So tarad means to kick someone out, and انطرد means to be kicked out. So this is the is patient form where the subject receives the action. هو بنطرد, he gets kicked out. And the has object form, the transitive form basically, is to kick out. So هو طرد, he kicked out. And in fact, it needs an object. هو طرده, he kicked him out. هو انطرد, he was kicked out, he got kicked out. So literally, what you want us to wait until he gets kicked out from school. Then the father says أنا عارف إنه غلط, I know it's wrong. بس عارف كمان إنه إذا بده بقدر وإحنا كمان لازم نساعده. Pretty straightforward, but I also know that if he wants, he can, and we also need to help. وبالآخر هو بيتحمل النتيجة. In the end, he will bear the results. And I think it's, or then from the other room, Sally says, Mama, سامر يعمل على حلو. Mama, the child, like he pooped on himself again. He made on himself. And then the mom says, Hayni Jaya. Remember, Hayni, or Hay, means you're pointing at something, you're showing something, like, Hay el-daftar, here's the notebook. But you can also say, like when you use it with a verb, it's like something is happening either in the immediate present, in the immediate past, so something just happened, or in the immediate future, so something is about to happen. But here it's obviously the present. Hayni Jaya, I'm coming right now. And then different scene. Now the mom is talking to the husband. They're driving to school, and she's asking him, يعني شو حكت لك بالضبط؟ بدي أعرف. So, يعني what did she say to you exactly? I want to know. وليش هالمرة حكوا معك أنت؟ ما دايما بيحكوا معي أنا. So why this time did they speak with you? They always speak with me. Now, a couple of things. First of all, this ma, remember, it's emphasizing the whole sentence, the whole thing. So it's that they always speak with me. Like that's what she's just stressing that's why she is confused. That's why she's asking this question, because they always speak with her. And then this enta and ana, it's optional. It's not necessary. She's just saying, because the true sentence is وليش هالمرة حكوا معك. But the enta is just to stress the you, which here is just a pronoun, it's just a suffix, but the enta after, it's like just it's emphasizing the enta, and here it's emphasizing the ana. Like بيتي أنا, my house. بيتي is my house, but بيتي أنا, it's like it's just something that people do say sometimes. Abu Sanad then says ما بعرف شو بعرفني أنا. See, here it is again in a way, right? I don't know. شو بعرفني means what do I know, but it's what do I know أنا, like it's just this doesn't have any grammatical meaning. It's just or it doesn't add anything other than just the emphasis. So حكوا في اجتماع مع مس كوثر بالمسرح وبس. So they said that there is a meeting with Miss Kauthar in the auditorium, and that's it. And then the mother says, بالمسرح يا حبيبي, in the auditorium, oh dear. شكله, it seems, remember, like شكل means shape, but شكله with the suffix, it's a pseudo-verb that means it seems, something seems. So شكله علامات الشهر طلعت, right? It seems the grades of the first month came out. يعني البهدلة هالمرة رح تكون علنية على مستوى المدرسة. So يعني the scolding, we saw this word in another dialogue, the scolding this time is going to be علني, which means public, على مستوى المدرسة, at the school level. علني means public in the sense of like for everyone to see and hear. As in the opposite of sirri, which is secret or confidential. There's a synonym for public, which is am. Am means public, but more in contrast to khas, which is private. as in like the public sector and the private sector, whereas alani is private, or public, as opposed to confidential, like privacy. Even though khususiyya is privacy, but anyway, and that's the meaning of this. See the point is that everyone is going to know about it, right? And then now they're in the auditorium, and the principal says, وهلا بعد ما خلصنا شهادات الشرف لطلبة المتفوقين, right? And now after we finished, بعد preposition, ma verb. Now after we finished the diplomas of honor, the honor diplomas, the honor certificates for the students. Now students, the plural is طلاب or طلبة. So here it's طلبة. So now that we finished the honor certificates for the students, متفوقين is like outstanding, advanced, superior, outstanding. So now that we finished the honor certificates for the outstanding students, and the mom gets worried and she's like, إجا دورنا حضر حالك للبهدلة. So it's our turn. Our turn has come. Prepare yourself for the scolding. But then the principal says, رح نعطي شهادة الطالب الأكثر تقدما خلال الشهر. Complicated a little bit here. It's a little bit, there's a kind of standard Arabic thing going on here. So we're going to give the diploma of the, so the student that is the most in terms of progress throughout the month. So khilal shahr, throughout the month. But let's look at the words, let's look at this word by word. Taqaddum means progress or advancement. Aktar, of course, it means more or most. And I've written here analytic elativizer. This is because not all things have comparative forms, right? So for example, حلو has أحلى, كبير has أكبر, but for example, مشغول doesn't have an elative form because it just doesn't. That's all you need to know for now. And the point is that if you want to turn that into a comparative, you would say أكثر واحد مشغول, or مشغول أكثر, like more busy, most busy. And yeah, so in this case, what it's saying is the student that is the most, and then this is like elativizing, it's comparing, or it's turning everything that follows, which is actually this, into a comparative. So taqaddum means progress and advancement, and then this an this is the part that's a little bit standard Arabic, like an turns things into adverbs. So for example, صراحة means honesty, صراحةً means honestly, عادة means habit, عادةً means habitually. So تقدما means like, you can do this in Arabic, but you can't do this in English. But in the English would be like in terms of progress. So the greatest student in terms of progress. That's really what this turns out to be. We're going to give the diploma for the greatest student. أكثر, and it could have been أكثر طالب as well. As I said before, you can have both orders. So أكثر طالب or الطالب الأكثر تقدما. And this is what's being compared, in terms of progress. So yeah, خلال الشهر. And so that's that. I wouldn't worry too much about that though. And then the teacher says, وهاي الجائزة للطالب سند. And this award is for the student sanad. And the family gets all excited. They're like, أحلى سند, bravo sanad. And this is common. أحلى something, obviously, literally, the nicest sanad. But this is just like, just encouraging speech. Like, you're amazing, sanad. Good job, sanad. And then they get home, and sanad says, كيف بس? So, just how was that, right? How'd you like that? There's no way to translate this other than in just idiomatically in this way. How'd you like that? And the father says كنت عارف إنه إذا بدك رح تقدر. I knew that if you want, you can. You'll be able to. And then the mom says برافو حبيبي أنا كتير فخورة فيك. Good job, darling. Or I am very proud of you. فخورة or فخور, proud, and then you're proud in someone. You're فخور في حدا. So فخورة فيك. And then he says شو فاجأتكم صح? So, and this شو is not just what, this is also used, interesting. I'm going to change the meaning because I added this other meaning, which is like as a phrase, it's like saying so or oh, or it just kind of depends on the sentence, but it's used a lot like to preface some kind of statement. So yeah, it's kind of just drawing attention really. So yeah, so I surprised you, right? Shu means what, but it's just used in this way as well. Ooh, what just happened? Okay. And then the family. Oh yeah, and then the baby is saying that he needs to go to the bathroom, and then the family is happy that he figured it out. So they say بسرعة, take him to the bathroom, right? Quickly. أحلى سمور. Here it is أحلى again. وأخيرا عملها. Finally he did it. بطل, which means hero. Like he's a hero. And then the mom says to the audience now, أولادنا محتاجين, active participle from احتاج, to need, محتاج, in need. So أولادنا محتاجين, our kids are in need, or they need, منا إنه نطول بالنا عليهم وندعمهم ونثق في قدراتهم. So nice words here. We have طول باله. This is an idiom. طول باله meaning to be patient. I think we saw it in another dialogue as well. So our kids need from us that we be patient with them, and to support them and to trust in their abilities. ونثق, we talked about this last time, but this is a very standard Arabic kind of, it's just, I don't know, for whatever reason, it's treated in a relatively unique way where, like as in standard Arabic, the first root letter, which is waw, is eliminated. Normally this wouldn't happen, like in the dialects, verbs that where the first letter is waw. Actually, we can actually see this in the conjugation table, because the conjugation table is like sort of automatically generated for verbs depending on their form, and it generates it based on what would be expected in this case, which would be بوثق, or in this case with us it would be بنلثق. But this is actually, I need to maybe even create a new conjugation table for this kind of situation, because in reality this wow, see, if it was like if this was like wa'ad, which means to promise, like bu'ad, I mean, you do have the wow, right? But with this verb in particular, if we look at all of the examples, the wow is skipped, as it would be in standard Arabic actually. So من حدا بثق فيه ندعمهم ونثق في قدراتهم بس أنا بثق فيكي, right? This is always how it ends up being. So this is actually kind of wrong. I mean, this is valid, but as you can see, it is usually used this way. And as you can see, the pronunciation is with a tha and with a qaf, so that kind of also tells you that it is quite formal. And lastly, ونشجعهم, so our children need all of this, and then ونشجعهم دايما إنهم يحطوا طاقة أكبر بالإشي اللي بيعملوه, and encourage them always that they put greater energy in the thing that they're doing. ووقتها رح نشوفهم بيعملوا أشياء ما منتوقعها. and وقتها, at that time, we're going to see them doing things that we don't expect. And وقتها, yeah, this is how we would say at that time. So yeah, I mean, like بعدها, قبلها, after that, before that, وقتها, at that time. Yeah, what in a way, like it's not a preposition, but it is used in similar ways. Like remember when we saw that you can say بعد ما رحت, after I went, قبل ما رحت, before I went, وقت ما رحت, when I went, the time that I went, at the time I went. So yeah, just something to note. And I think that's all I had to say about from this dialogue. This one I think was actually more straightforward, I want to say, because I feel like hopefully this video will not turn out to be as long. Yeah, hopefully that was helpful, and I will see you in the next one.